Well, hey guys, Bethany Drew here with Stampin' Up. I'm here about 10 minutes later than I normally am on this dreary Wednesday in November. I can't believe we're halfway through November already. It's crazy. Time just keeps flying. I know I keep saying that, but it just seems like it's going by so fast. And like I tell you, Wednesdays always are like in super speed. So we are going to look at the Little Blessing stamp set, which is such a cute little set. It's only $16, but it's got something for like every occasion. So it's a really cool. It wasn't like first on my list, but this is why I love the accountability of me doing the videos, because once I started playing with it, I'm like, this is so cute. And it's a wonderful set to make for, or to use if you are like a beginner, or if you're wanting to get your crafty daughter or granddaughter, or, your son or nephew, anybody who loves crafting into it. This is a cute set. So just say hi when you come on. I love those of you who are able to visit me, and hello to all of you who catch me on the replay. I'm more than happy. I know some of you can't catch me. This is kind of sometimes a difficult time for me. I'm 10 minutes late because I was trying to get stew in the crock pot. I really meant to do that closer to 1, but life happens. So without any further ado, let me just look through. We're just gonna kind of scour through. Hey, my eyes look fine. Yes, you should have seen me just a half hour ago. My eyes were all teary and watery from cutting onions. Thanks, Chris. You're too sweet. So let's turn around so you don't have to gaze at this anymore and look at some fun. Okay, I'll try to slowly lower that so you don't get dizzy. Okay, so in the holiday catalog, we are going to open up to page 59. And today we're looking at the stamp set that says Little Delights. It's number 156527. It's $16. And something that I think a little hidden treasure, because if you have the die cutting machine that you miss, because the embossing folders are clear, and so it's kind of hard to see. This page also advertised this star-crossed embossing folder. I'm going to show it to you today. It's got kind of a buffalo check pattern, and then it's got stars on one side, so it literally has a diagonal line between it, and it's got 2 different patterns, which is really cool. So I will show that to you today as well. I love some of the examples even in the catalog. So when any of you get the catalog, you can use this first before you even see my videos as inspiration and what you can do with the stamp set. So this one just shows focus on Christmas, but this one's showing you a simple beginner card. So it's telling you, hey, you can step it up however much you want. Really simple. If you have the die cutting machine, and you can use the embossing folder to add that over, kind of a similar pattern. And then this one has a few more layers and a few more things they've used with dies and maybe some embossing. So you can really step it up and do an avid card. So that's the same with all of our sets. But these are the sentiments. So again, it's got a thank you, you're such a blessing, birthday wishes, a Christmas one, Merry Christmas, ho ho ho, ghoulish delights, trick or treat, and then it's got little images to go with all those. So you can make some really simple cards with this, but like Stampin' Up's even shown, you can go all out when you have everything. So that's what I appreciate about having other things to work alongside with. And then I'm also going to, before I throw this to the side, I wanted to show you just a couple pages before this. There's also something that you may have missed in the Harvest Meadow suite. Here it shows an example with a frame cut with that cork board specialty paper. And so on page 55 of the holiday catalog, this paper I'm going to show on a few cards. It's cork 12 by 12 specialty paper. It's $7.50. And it feels like cork, even though it is super thin like designer paper, but the texture on the top actually feels like cork. It's really cool. That is number 156393. So obviously you don't want to use huge pieces of it. So that's another one that, you don't want to cut and use as a whole card front, but I'll show you fun ways to use that cork specialty paper as well. And again, that's on page 55 in the holiday catalog. I'm also going to share, I just got a new downline who signed up just yesterday, I believe. So Teresa Bueller, welcome to the family. I'm so excited. This is a good time to take advantage of being on my team. When you are on my team, I do try to spoil you, and we do events together. I just spoiled some of them who came to my onstage party and made little gift bags for them, and we had prizes that they got to pick just for fun, extra little prizes, and bought them sandwiches. And so I love having get-togethers with my team, and even just downline meetings where we can stamp together. So it's fun to be on my team. It is, and we're a family, and they've become some of my best friends, and some of you are watching. But the cool thing about November's deal is, and they don't do this very often at all, it's almost always a $99 starter kit, but then they add on extra free bonus things. But now they've discounted it from $99 to only $75. So $75, free shipping. You get a free paper pumpkin in it. You get to pick $125 worth of product, your choices in there. And then after that, you can get your 20% discount anytime you order. And so this would be a fun time to join in November. Then plus, we're getting one more business thing down, one more exciting thing. Yesterday began a sale that it's still going on today and tomorrow. And things are going on back order because everybody likes getting paper, ink, and dyes. So today and tomorrow until 11:59, all cardstock is 10% off. Ink pads of any color of your choice are 15% off. And the dies, all the dies in the annual catalog, so that's the big catalog, are all 20% off right now. And so I am going to show you some of the fun dies, and I've been showing pictures of some of the dies that I love working with. So just don't forget to take advantage of those sales as well. But let's just start having some fun, okay? I know that's what you're waiting for. Some of you who watch the replay just fast forward till you start seeing cards, I'm sure. And that's fine. Okay, so this is the stamp set with the little bats and the trick or treat stamp from that little blessings stamp set. However, I used all these little pieces that are popped out from the circles. And this is from our, what's it called? Picture This, I think, dies. So these are dies that I actually just recently got, but I'm loving playing with these dies that cut out all these different circles and then cut out a few rectangles. So this is a set that doesn't necessarily match with a specific stamp set. So you just could get these dies, and they're really fun to use. Here is just a couple more examples. Here's a winter one where I made some of the penguin place that was celebration paper. Those little cute critters pop out of a couple windows and a snowflake. Here's using some of the new paper that will be available. Well, it's available now for you guys to order with the Eden's Garden. And then here's, just last week I showed you this, I think. And this is the rectangles one that makes kind of windows of rectangles for you to put stuff in and pop it out. It's really fun. I have more cards, but I didn't want to overwhelm you totally. So this, to make this card, I cut out, and I just realized I didn't add any of the circles behind it that I cut out in different patterns. I was going to do that. I wonder if I could still do that with these. We're just going to add another little mini dimensional on there, because I wanted to show you how fun it is when you cut out a few. So that was a mini dimensional. I'm going to put another little mini dimensional on that, and I'm going to tape these polka dots in here. So I cut out a sheet of this paper. So this is some of that holiday paper. It has polka dots and all kinds of fun designs. let me show you some of it. This was on back order for a while, so I am going to show you these. I got them because of these cute ghosts. They're so cool. Hey, Teresa. Glad you're here. These cute little critters are awesome. What I love about this Halloween paper is it's pretty basic. On these both you could use for any occasion. So a lot of them have a Halloween theme on one side, and then here just plain stripes. Polka dots, and then candy. So they're really fun, cute little designs. So I am going to show you how you can use these for way more than just Halloween. But I did want to, because I cut the circles out of this pattern too. I wanted to put a couple of those in, right back in the circles before I popped all those up. Although, you have to be honest, it looked cute without any of the paper in there. But what you can do is replace it back in. So I cut some out in the white, and I just replaced, that was one of the same sizes. And now I'm going to tuck my, and see, that adds just even a little bit more fun. I'll add one because I also cut out some of the circles out of this striped pattern too. So just the ones, since I'm not going to rip up all of these, but I'm going to take off my little house on that one too. And I'm going to tape down the striped pattern in this little circle. So that slides in there. I'll put another little mini dimensional on the house here. Let's see, tuck that one over on that side. There, didn't I just make it cuter? I totally forgot to do that. So that's kind of the fun of cutting out a few. And now I'm going to show you, so this was a Halloween card, but now I'll show you making a birthday card with this other piece that I cut out. So I'm using Highland Heather as my card base. And right away I can just pop this up with some dimensionals. So that's where some of these dies make it just so simple and easy, because especially when you've used, now I embossed over this white piece with a web embossing folder. So that's a fun thing to do when you have the die cutting machine, to emboss a layer if you're working with just white. But when you're working with designer paper, you don't really need to do emboss. You could. But the emboss, or the designer paper, along with the dies, just does the work for you, and then you don't have to add a whole lot in there. Okay, so we're gonna put these, I wonder if I should put it this way this time. We'll see how it looks this way, with the big circle closer to the right. And the big circle is the one that kind of fits your sentiment. Okay, so I've popped that up. It already looks cute just with that layer on top of the purple, right? And it's just gonna keep getting cuter. Okay, because now I've got all these extra circles, so we're gonna see what patterns do I want to add back into the circles. I don't want to use the same pattern. Now this is candy. I don't know if I want to use the black and white either. That's just black and white. I'm not sure if that's too busy, the stripes versus the polka dots. Now this one might be easier to just do some stamping in the white. I might actually use some of the candy ones, the dark black in there. But let's just start with what we've got here. Okay, so there is a stamp that says birthday wishes, and there's an image. This is a photopolymer set, so totally clear. There is one that has a little birthday hat. So I'm going to stamp the birthday hat in the Highland Heather. Once, oops. See if I can get that lined up. Almost. once, then I'm stamping it off without re-inking it. So there's just 2 little birthday hats there. And then I'll stamp in my black, my Memento black. You guys all feeling like ready for Thanksgiving? I cannot believe it's next week. I feel, I don't know. I don't know how I feel. And now I love the font of this set. Aren't those the swirly little letters? I don't know, the script of it is just so cute. I love it. Are any of you guys hosting Thanksgiving this year? We usually host almost every year. We're still gonna have family over a couple of the days that they're around, but our my brother and sister-in-law, they just built a new house, so we're gonna have Thanksgiving Day actually over at their house. Which is fun and exciting, their beautiful house. All right, so I'm gonna glue down the birthday wishes inside here. And I think, where did I put the purple here? I might just stamp the birthday hat on the purple there. There is a flower set too, or image. Let's see how that looks. That circle fits in there. If we get some scrap paper out. So these cute little flowers are in there. That could be something fun that we just put in there too. That fits with birthday, I think, flowers, since we're making girly colors here. So that fits in there. I think I will just leave those purple, and what I'm doing now is seeing if the hat will look good. If I stamp it, my paper again here. I love the polka dot so much. See if we do a little bit of a masking thing there. Put that smaller little white so we have a little bit of a purple border there. I think I like that. Then I can put a dimensional on there. Well, hey, Barb. You're at work? Yvonne, you're hosting? Well, have fun. You know, whatever the size of the house, you make it work. She said, we have the biggest house in the family. All 1,400 feet of it. Square feet. Yes. It's all about the love, right? Not about, you know, and when there's less room, you got to squish and love on each other. Now, if I wanted to, I could even cut out let's see how this works. There's no dies that work with this, but say I wanted to stamp. I'm using a lot of my white circles with this one. Keep it with the purple. I might actually use this white circle to stamp a purple one and then a pink one. because there's this is Flirty Flamingo. I just was talking to a friend who's also on my team who is gonna be on a cruise for Thanksgiving. That sounds like a deal to me. Not having to cook one thing. Have to see if my husband would be up for that. Actually, no, he wouldn't. We always do Thanksgiving with the Drews, with Joe's parents and family. So, although I don't know, maybe when the kids start getting a little bigger, we could say, hey, let's do a cruise this year. And nobody has to make anything. We just enjoy the trip. Okay, this is where I wish I had my paper snips. I should have brought those. I think I still have stuff set up from my class, so I brought my paper snips out in the dining room for other people to use and to see how awesome our paper snips are. I just feel like just doesn't cut quite as well with these Fisker scissors. Stampin' Up's paper snips. Those are the bomb. Highly recommend those. Okay, again, so these dies are called Picture This dies. So here, out of this one, I wonder if I should just do one hat or do the two hats out of one. I don't know, what do you think? Just do one hat coming out of those two, or put them together? Or scrap the hats. I don't know. I kind of like them together right there. What do you guys think? And I don't think I'm going to use any of the other patterns. Just they're too busy because this polka dots is so busy. So little mini dimensional fits on those little hats. That didn't take a whole lot of time to cut that out. Let's see, you know what? I think I'll put it up here because there's a hat down there. So I'm gonna have them stick out at the top. What are you guys' favorite things for Thanksgiving to eat? I don't think I'm going to do a live video next week just because we'll already have family here, and that's the night we'll be hosting stuff on Wednesday, and we have a Thanksgiving Eve service. There's a lot going on next week. All right. Isn't that cute? So I'm trying to think of what the things that my nephews always say, please, Aunt Bethany, make this every year, it's called acini de pepe, and it's a fruit salad. It's got mandarin oranges and pineapple in it, and you make a little fruity sauce to go over these little tiny noodles. Are acini de pepe noodles, so they're like tiny little round balls, and then you let it sit. You also add like marshmallows in it, and you let it sit overnight, and then you mix it with Cool Whip the next day, and it's my kids love it, and my nephews and nieces love it. So I make that every year. And derby pie. Derby pie is pecan pie with chocolate chips. Am I making you guys hungry? But of course I love the turkey, the stuffing, mashed potatoes, sweet potatoes. I just love food. How about you guys? You love food? Man, I love food. Maybe a little too much, but I thank God for food. I certainly enjoy it. Okay, so those are two totally different cards. There's a Halloween one with trick or treat, and then birthday wishes, but same kind of layout with using the Picture This dies. So super fun with that. Then we get into later fall, Thanksgiving time. And if you want to just send a thank you card and say you're such a blessing to someone, this is another fun technique to kind of dress up if you don't have very many stamp sets or very many colors of cardstock either. This is vanilla cardstock. This is thick vanilla, the card base. And so I just repeat stamped. This is crushed curry, that yellow, that deep yellow in the Regals. And I just repeat stamped kind of sporadically over You're Such a Blessing in that crushed curry. Now here is that cork paper. I was telling you I was going to use that. And you could just leave it at this and it would be just fine. If you wanted to do simple stamping, I just cut a strip. This is from the party pack, which is a hostess set. If you're ever a hostess, and you can get a set of like, I think it's like 20 sheets or more even. And it's awesome double-sided paper. But what I'm going to show you too is fun when you add just a couple little, say you have some dies. These leaves are from actually one of our winter sets, but adding just a little bit of green into a mostly monochromatic card can really brighten up your card, and it's fun. So I'm going to pop a little mini dimensional underwear. I'm going to throw this. And you see this one I stamped a long time ago and I never used it because this leaf cut off a little bit, but there's always a way to use stuff. So I'm going to tuck it under and just make sure it tilts enough that that leaf that got chopped off is underneath and you won't see it. And then I did cut out just one leaf with one of my leaf dies in that same cork. And we'll stick this out in the other side here. And then that little bit of green and the other leaf adds just so much more to the card, right? So that's just stepping it up. But it looked cute on its own as well. And then I stamped using, there's a little leaf stamp for the fall cards, which is awesome. So I love that these all have a saying and then also has a little image that you could use with it. So now I'm actually going to show you a card too that we can step up. I was inspired by Erica Serwin with this one, but I also had made pumpkins like this. If you have circle dies, circle punches, or oval dies or punches, you can make all kinds of pumpkins. So let me show you something I made like, I don't know. I think I made this at least 15 years ago. So I have, this is in a big 8 by 11 or 8.5 by 11 frame. And I have all seasonal. So I think I have 6 different ones that I rotate in this frame it's on my entry table. So this is my fall one that I get out that says Give Thanks. And I just used one of my alphabet sets that I had a long time ago. And then I used a smaller circle punch to make this. And that I used 4 or 5 different little circles to make a pumpkin. And then I made this bunch of pumpkins down at the bottom of this frame with ovals and then circle punches. And then I used ribbon actually for the stem of these pumpkins. So framed art is also a really cool thing you can make with your stamps. So thinking outside the box, it's not always cards. And sometimes people might want to actually just frame a card you give them too. That's potential too. So to step up this pumpkin, I also used an embossing folder and sponged around it. And then you notice that fun cork paper again. Yep, used that for the stem. So you could use a brown ribbon if you have that too. But I'm also going to show you what I did to get this kind of different colors on the leaves, because that actually comes from just one stamp from the leaves. And I'll show you how to do that. So, and I might actually make a little bit bigger pumpkin. This one I used, I think, a 1 3/4 inch punch. I also want to brag on some of the dies that I love to use are from the scalloped contour dies. That is this set. You wouldn't necessarily need the stamp set that goes with this, but it does have 2 dies that cut out the flowers in that stamp set. But I use these scalloped rectangle dies and then this scalloped border die so often. Love these dies. They're awesome. So those would also be 20% off right now. So here's just one of those. I think it's like the third largest rectangle. And then I already ran the cinnamon cider piece through what is that one called? Macrame or something like that. I think it's called macrame, the embossing folder. Okay, I haven't scored that yet. So this is thick vanilla again. Ooh, if I can pick up my paper cutter here. Okay, so 4 1/4 is where you want to score to get the middle of your card when you got a regular size card there. And then you can just pop up that cinnamon cider layer with some dimensionals. I'll put 1 in each corner and then 1 in the middle. That's really all you need. Hey, honey. Are you going anywhere?
Nope.
One child home from school. Now it probably won't be too long before Gabe is home. I love this macrame embossing folder. I love all the embossing folders. They're all really cool. Well, so I get them all. Why not? They're one of the cheaper things that you can get with your die cutting machine. Okay, so I am also going to grab one of my just because it's photopolymer, sometimes it can be a little finicky when you're stamping with photopolymer sets. Sometimes it's nice to have, this is a paper piercing mat, some kind of foam mat underneath to give it just a little bit extra cushion. And I'm looking for my leaves. Okay, so there's a leaf image and it's all one stamp, but this is when your handy dandy markers come to save the day. Okay, so I'm using Real Red, Pumpkin Pie, and I think this is Garden Green. Yeah, Garden Green. And every Stampin' Write marker has a thicker end and a thinner end. So it also has a thicker stripe and a thinner stripe. It also has a picture on here with the paint tip and then the writing tip when you're trying to look to see what you're doing here. So what I did is I colored this one big leaf in photopolymer. Stamps can be a little bit tricky with your markers. They're not quite as crisp of an image as our real rubber stamps, but they still work. Sometimes they work better after some time and the whatever they've been processed with comes off on the finish of the stamps. Okay, so Real Red, which I've had this Real Red, I don't know, for 15 years. The markers last forever, guys, and you can actually re-ink your markers too with the ink refills. You can take a tweezer and just pull that end out and actually drip some ink back into the marker. So these last a very long time. They can last you forever. Literally, not forever, but for the rest of your life. Okay. Now, I didn't just end it there, even though that would look cute with an orange, red, and green leaf. What I wanted the big leaf that I colored in orange to look like multicolor, like really fall. And so after I used the markers, I'm just using my little sponge dauber and I'm using the Real Red ink pad. And I'm actually just sponging at the top of my orange leaf, okay? And maybe even the top of my other red, just to give it more, a different texture. All right, put that red back. Now, because I want to punch out a little bit bigger circles than I did before, I'm gonna stamp the leaves a little higher than I did in this one. And look how fun that is. Man, the sponge daubers are so much fun. So that orange and reddish one that I sponge daubered, so fun. And let me wash it off. If you don't have a chamois, these are awesome. Quick, no lint. They're amazing. And let's see. That's all I'm stamping on that. Now we have to punch out our circles. So let me get some vanilla. All right, so I used my my 1.25 inch. Now I'm using 2 inch. And this one actually, because the 2 side ones get covered, I don't need a whole circle. So even though I can't stamp the whole circle, that's okay. That's gonna get covered up. And actually I'll do the same thing with the other one. It doesn't need to be a whole circle. Just your center one you want to be a whole circle. So I guess that's a way to save on your cardstock. And now I'm going to run all of these at the same time. So let me move. I'm sorry, I don't bring out my Big Shot very often to show you guys. But I will today. Somehow I have enough room. Okay, so this one, the 3D ones have a platform and then just have one on top of your sandwich. So you do have to pay attention to what kind of embossing folder you have. If it's just a regular one or if it's one of the 3D ones, that means your sandwich is going to be different. Okay, so I'm just putting all of those circles right in my embossing folder. Putting the blue pad on top of the platform to make my sandwich. And then this one's called Time Worn Type. And then all of these circles have a fun little design on them. And it's even more fun when you want a sponge. So I'm taking my cinnamon cider color with a sponge, and you want to just sponge around the edges of your circles here. That brings out a little bit of what you've embossed, makes it look a little antique. Guys, I use sponging all the time. I love sponging. It adds texture. This is going to be the center one, so definitely want to make sure I get all the way around this one. So fun. Especially because we're going to end up putting that on this piece here. That's nice to sponge these and give it just some more texture. Okay, so this, you can tell this pumpkin's a little bit bigger than this pumpkin. Now that I'm looking at it, I don't know. I might like the smaller pumpkin better, but we'll see. We'll see how this goes. After it all gets together, maybe we'll like this one just as much. Okay, so just need to put a dimensional on each layer. I'm going to put this one, the same thing, my pumpkin's a little bit off to the side. I'm going to have that close to the bottom of that rectangle. I want to see where I want this one here. A little bit further in. Just put one dimensional on this one. And I don't want it too far off to the side because, let's see, is that good? Just a little bit more. All right, 1, 2, and this one right in the middle. I love pumpkins. I love making pumpkins. Anyhow, you can make pumpkins. Pumpkins make me happy. was trying it. There actually are words on this Time Worn one, so wanted to make sure my words, not that anyone's going to read it on there, but just in case. All right, so here's another little scrap that I got from that cork paper. I'm just going to cut it at an angle. Now I have even another stem that I can use. I'm going to tilt that stem just a little bit to the right so I can see all that. I didn't tilt my leaves as much as I did on the other one. I don't want to miss that pretty little red leaf down there, so I'm going to just stick it to the side slightly. And when we bring in the card base here, that just makes that pop, doesn't it? Isn't that pretty? Hey, say hello if you come on. Just a couple more dimensionals. Pop this rectangle on here. And I'm going to center this one a little bit more. It's still a little bit off to the side. Like this one I put up even more because I didn't want to cover up too much of the pumpkin. But now that I've made the pumpkin a little bit bigger, I don't think I'm too worried about covering up too much of it. So when I want to just make a bow, this is about what I do. Like the width of my hand is a good bow for me. And you still have a little bit of stuff hanging down. I want to use pretty much all of this. So I'm going to make that side a little shorter when I tie my bow. Then it usually evens out a little better. Twine is an awesome accent for all cards. That just adds a little bit of extra, you know, when you can add something that's not paper, that's always fun. All right, so I'm going to take a glue dot, put that on the knot of my twine, and then kind of tuck that right at the top of the pumpkin. Okay, then last thing I have to do is just stamp "You're Such a Blessing" on this little piece. And this piece I'm also going to show off and tell you another set of dies you need if you don't have them are the Tasteful Label dies. They are amazing. I use them in all kinds of cards. Here's "You're Such a Blessing." I would highly recommend them. Those dies I don't have to show you because they're actually up on my wall on my knife strips because I do use them all the time. I love them. So I'm stamping this. We'll bring this back out just in case. In the Cinnamon Cider, that's the same color as the paper there. "You're Such a Blessing." Stamp that down. Isn't that font just so pretty? I love it. I love it. So I don't know, what do you guys, you like the bigger or the smaller? I guess I haven't finished this one yet. You can tell me when it's totally finished. All right. I'm going to put it off to the side again, and I'm going to put one dimensional right here in the corner. And then because this pumpkin's already popped up, I'm going to just stick some adhesive on the other side. You know, you don't want it to be like, whoa, way up high. So adhesive on the side, dimensional where I want it to pop up. There, isn't that so cute? All right, so what do you guys think? The smaller or the bigger pumpkin? They're just a 1/4 inch difference. So this one was the 1 3/4 inches and this is the 2 inch circle punch. I mean, if you got the card, I bet you wouldn't really even notice, but I don't know. I think I actually like the smaller pumpkin a little bit better. But they're both cute. All right, so this was more beginner, just using one little strip of designer paper and then the cork paper covering that. This one, if you have die cutting machine, the Big Boss You can use the embossing folders and stuff, and so that's awesome. So there's some thankful cards, and we did some Halloween cards. Just to show you here, I could not find for the life of me. I embossed white embossing powder on black, and I cannot find my tag dies. You like the smaller pumpkin too, Chris? Yeah, I think I do too. But again, I wanted to show you, okay, Christmas-y, because we have a Merry Christmas. Again, if you've got extra designer paper that you've gotten, any of your designs will work fine. These are from the Painted Christmas. And then another way to kind of, if it's a simple card, you see this one was simple too, and I rounded the edges. It's really nice and easy with our triple corner. This is a corner punch, and that is a tag punch, but this corner rounder, you just stick the corner all the way in, press down, and this I even did after I put the designer paper down. So if you have designer paper with it, you still can do like the whole card at once, and that's really nice. So I love our corner rounder. So I'll just have to show you a finished one of this one, because I was going to cut this out as a tag and maybe even make it look a little bit chalkboardish. And then tie the ribbon here. But I used just cork. I used that scalloped border from those the scalloped rectangle contour dies too. But that would be a fairly simple Christmas card to make with designer paper. Here I'll show you pieces, again, if you just have designer paper. This is from that gingerbread and peppermint suite. And if you have paper, now these are two more different designs that you cut out with those Tasteful Label dies. They really are awesome. I love them. So here I'll show you a kind of simple card that you could make. So this one I cut out in like our craft paper, and that the craft paper is shown in that same suite with the gingerbread and peppermint set. I'm gonna sponge actually around this red layer too, just to add a little bit more, because these are kind of busy designs, but it is the opposite side of that diagonal paper. So I thought sometimes when you don't have to second guess yourself when you're using the opposite side, it will go together with it just fine. And so there's a Merry Christmas, and there's also a little sentiment that says ho ho ho. So I thought I'd use that one that says ho 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 and stamp that on the craft. And then you could do a couple things. Because I'm using the gingerbread and peppermint suite, I could actually use some of that paper as an accent. So I think I'll tape this down with my Seal Plus. I'll put that over to the side here. I'll pop this one up with a couple dimensionals. And then I've cut out a bunch of, I fussy cut, so cut out by hand, not used with dies, some of the designer paper that had little mittens and snowflakes and stuff from that paper. Let me go get that container. And short little ad right in between. If you find yourself running out on time and you're like, oh, I haven't made Christmas cards, the gingerbread and peppermint cards and envelopes make super easy, fast cards. And the Memories and More card pack have really cute stickers and little accents. When I did my holiday retreat, and I know Chris and Deb, you guys went to that, but you guys made a ton of cards, and they're just fun and easy to use with the designer paper, with the pieces. Lots of different designs with the designer paper. So I cut out pieces like this, the bell and the circle and the ornament. But then there's some cards that you literally just plunk that card, memory more card piece right in the center, put the stickers on, and voila, you're done. And that took like 20 seconds. Others take a little bit more, but they're pretty easy, simple designs. And they already are pre-printed. I think I have some here. This is what they start off at. They're already scored for you. They have this little thing pre-printed on it, and the envelopes are already designer envelopes in the craft. It's just such a cute set. And then I even made a tag. I made some cute where I cut these in half and made little mini, you know, ones that you could make this if you made a, you know, if you're a baker and you love making stuff for people around the holidays and you want to give them just a loaf of bread, you could cut these in half and make these like little mini notes. But then I have a lot of extra pieces. That's where I was gonna see what else could I add to this card. So I've cut out some of those extra pieces. So that is the gingerbread Memories and More Cards and Envelopes, and Memories and More card pack. And the designer paper, whew, is just so cool. So I think these are big enough. I probably only need a couple accents. I want one of them to be a gingerbread looking accent. So maybe the bell. Snowflake. And the bell. Hi, buddy. Oh, my elementary kids are home now. We gotta go fast here. I don't know, maybe that's too busy with those. Or maybe one needs to be smaller. I've got some of the small ones in here too, I think. Although I think that would have been better with a green one. Hi, bud.
Where did you get that shirt?
I ordered it online. You noticed it was new, huh?
Yeah. Also, can I have some of my candy, please?
Yes. Have one of your brothers help you. Just take it out. I don't know. Maybe not one of the bigger ones. Maybe I'll just do two smaller ones down here. I know what I was also going to add. These, I think I was going to add one of these snowflakes. Our iridescent snowflakes are a fun accent. Just want to be gentle with them. They're pretty fine. Let's see, I only put... There, the snowflake in the center there. And these on top, maybe? See, this is where sometimes a 2-minute card turns into a 10-minute card when you change your mind. All right, so we're gonna put the gingerbread tree down with the mints for decoration. Stick the snowflake on there. Yeah, I'm feeling like those are just too big. But let's see, maybe the bell and a mint. I'll put the mint down here. You know, all kinds of decisions. I liked your idea, Teresa, of adding the mint, so I'm going to add a mint down here. We'll put the mint down there. And then I think we'll use the smaller accents, the bell. And the red ornament. So this is the joy of, goodness, just letting some of your designer paper do the work, because that was all from the gingerbread and peppermint. And then really the only thing I used from that stamp set was the ho ho ho. And then I could probably add another peppermint or one of the accents on the inside of the card too. That could be fun. And why not another little bow here? Because twine, adding twine to paper is always fun. And where did I put my... glue dots, glue dots. All right, we'll put a little glue dot on the back of the knot there. Ta-da! Fun, huh? Okay, so now I'm going to show a totally different looking card with different designer paper. So depending on what packages of designer paper you get, you really can make different looking cards. So this is all the traditional reds and greens with that gingerbread. So very pretty. But say you're not a traditional color kind of person and you got the pack of designer paper, the whimsical trees. Or if you're like me, you got all of the paper. So this whimsical trees has the pinks, and the whimsical trees paper, if you can see that in here, it is just gorgeous. Love the designs on this paper. The iridescent shine that it has on one side is amazing. And then it's got you've got your pinks, sparkly stripes, and polka dots. And there's more designs. Why did I only grab those few here? All right. I've obviously used a lot of this. I've gotten a couple packages worth. So these are so pretty with the ornaments and then the blue on the other side, the presents, and then hollies. I think I already showed you that. Yes. But this is gorgeous paper. It really is. So I think there's only one design I didn't show you yet here, which is the pattern I'm going to show you. I love these little green diamonds and then the Christmas trees. They're so cute. Okay. So we're going to use mint. Not that mint is like a total non-traditional color, but we're not going to add any red accents. In fact, we probably could add like a pink tree or something to this as well. But I'm going to add this paper down. And another trick that I've shown you guys before too is if you really love and you hate covering up the other side of your designer paper and you don't want that to go to waste, it really is fun to cut out. So when I have it folded closed, I open up and I'm going to lay down a die on the inside of my card so that it will cut out and kind of be a peekaboo for the inside. So just to show you, I'm going to lay down, and this is also from the Tasteful label dies. I'm going to lay that down and run that through the front of my card. it is really foggy and misty out there. All right, so I just cut that out, but on this side, on the inside. So the inside is finished. And now when I tape my designer paper down, when I open it up, the inside of the card is finished and you see the other side and it's so cute. And you could even add some little embellishments on the inside. So the only thing you want to remember when you do that is you just want to put adhesive on the outside edges then, not on the inside. Just around the outside edges. Okay, so this has mint macaron, is the main color here. And then I stamped already a little border of the mint ornaments, because that's the ornament is also in this stamp set. And just to be fun, with the mint what is it called? Stampin' Up marker, I'm just doing hand drawing what looks like a little, connecting the light bulb wire there. Why, you say? I don't know, because you can. Because it's fun. So another reason why to get the markers, because then you have colors that you can draw with that match all of your ink pads. Oh, and then it's hard to just choose where to even put the strip, because you don't want to color any of your, or cover any of your sparkly trees, but it must be done. And then I already stamped the Merry Christmas, and then I stamped off before I stamped those light bulbs down there. And now I'm trying to think whether I want to, I might do it later. When you see pictures of these later, it might look a little different. Now I just center that, and you can still see that little row of the ornaments down there. And we'll pop this up. Maybe off to the side, I don't know where I want to put that. You know, you never want to cover up too much of that snowflake, it's so cute. Or maybe I'll actually cut it in half. Then I can stick a little bit of it on the top and a little bit on the bottom. So now a little mini dimensional will fit under there. And I'll stick that under the top. Yeah, like that. And another mini dimensional on the center of this half. Hey, Becky. Fun to see people join me no matter what time. I know we're getting close to the... Oh my goodness, did I just put that on the wrong? I did. You know, I want the shiny side. Shiny side. So I'm going to try to peel that off. And it's really okay that it's still going to be sticky. It's getting windy now. Is it windy where you guys are at? And it's like pouring down rain. All right, because I'm sticking that underneath, it's okay that it's a little sticky on the other side. But I do want the shiny side to be showing. There. So fun. Those iridescent snowflakes are, I think, in the same suite as the whimsical trees, I believe. These iridescents. Is it raining where you are, Chris? Okay, so those are two different, just showing you like when you let designer paper do most of the work for you. Still using the stamp set from Little Delights, but using very different color schemes when you change up your designer paper. So that can make it look very different. And here was the other designer paper with a little bit of embossing, but I just haven't found my, I gotta clean, guys. Gotta clean in my Stampin' Up room. Can't find my tags, my tag dies. Oh, I was gonna show you, but you know what? It actually showed you. I was gonna do one like the catalog, but just because time is running out, I'll just show you again. Because it really is, the catalog is a great variety of inspiration too. So look in the catalog, look at the samples that they've got, because this is a really cute example, and I'll probably show a picture of making one. I was going to use Flirty Flamingo as my background on my card. So again, if you like non-traditional colors, just adding in the Flirty Flamingo with the real red and a green. So I was going to use garden green. This one is more like a pear pizzazz, I think. And show you that embossing folder with the star-crossed embossing folder, but I'll still make that card. But if you can see in the catalog there, it shows there's a diagonal, and it's two different patterns. One's stars and one's like this crisscross kind of pattern. So it's very cool. So I was going to do that with the Christmas lights, whatever. But again, if you like this stamp set, again, this would be a great one. It's only $16. The number is 156527. And it really is great if you have everything, or if this is your only stamp set and you only have a couple colors, you can make some really easy cards with it as well. So highly recommend this set. So we'll go back to, we started with Halloween, made a Halloween card, and then out of some of the same Halloween paper, I showed you could still make birthday card, and that's with those Picture This dies. So those are fun. Then we went ahead and did some fall cards. So easy peasy, just using a strip of designer paper, but just using that message to stamp all over the place. And then stepped up a little bit more, used an embossing folder, make the pumpkin, use markers to color that image. So fun. And then Christmas ones, really you can make all kinds of cards. And in traditional colors and non-traditional colors, this is just a really fun set. So again, it's called Little Delights. Here in one shot is, there's the leaves, the bats, the little flowers, the little hat, the light bulb, and then you get all those little sentiments. Hey, Sherry. Yeah, I'm about to end, but I'll take you anytime. What?
Can I use an umbrella?
To what?
To go outside, ask Micah if he wants to.
Sure. So I hope you liked my examples today. This was a fun little one. I had a lot of fun this last weekend on Stampin' Up's on stage, and I will be showing you guys new stuff, but I didn't want to tease you quite yet. And there was just a lot to talk about since it's November, the holidays are coming, but if you want to sign up on my team, just let me know. For $75 to get $120 worth of stuff, product of your choice, a free paper pumpkin, you get the business supplies, so whether you need those or not, those are added in there, and catalogs. Did I say free shipping already? So they don't charge you for shipping. So such a great deal. Whether you stay active or not, might as well use it for the time you've got. 20% discount on any of your orders after that. So thank you guys for joining me, and hope it inspired you to maybe make some Christmas cards or whatever. Send those hugs in the mail, and we'll see you, well, not next week. Next week, you guys have a happy Thanksgiving. So boohoo, we'll take a little time off, but I will see you, oh my goodness, does that mean in December? That's kind of crazy. Oh, like I said, time's flying. Enjoy those holidays, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye.